And we are live. Welcome to Raven RC Network Show, episode 7. Today, we get to talk about the war with Iran. That is right. The GOP has lied to us once again. They said there was going to be no new wars, but guess what? We went to war with Iran. That is right. We're at war with Iran, and we're going to cover it. But before we do that, we're going to catch up with the panel, starting with my lovely co-host, Digny. Digny, how have you
Oh,
been?
I need to pause that.
I've been doing very well. Folks, welcome to the Lunatic Show. I have given code names for everyone. Pope Gaben V is codename Retard. Taran is codename Polygamist. And Owl is codename Who the Fuck Are You? I've never seen you before. But yeah, it is great to see everyone in all seriousness. I appreciate everyone for being here, and hopefully we'll have a good talk about the more things change, the more they stay the same.
So Pope Gavith V, Booty Warrior, how have you been?
Well, I'm retarded, and and women don't like me very much.
Well, that's not right. No. Don't speak for me. I am walking, so I had to mute myself for Triton's sake. Anyways, basically, real life problems, and obviously you got to get back on the horse. Which comes to my new saying: I am now the holiness, the Pope. Hell, if he can say celibate for eons, so can I. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, then. Pope Gaben V is not hunting women in the woods. He's definitely not doing that. Okay?
Well,
So how about you?
Tor? Yeah, Torin.
Polygamist. How about you?
I'm downloading music right now.
Illegally?
Yeah, but it's a bunch of video game albums, so who gives a fuck?
Well, as long as you're doing it through an Israeli server, it's perfectly fine.
Nah,
as long as you're not stealing from the Israelis, the GOP could give less of a fuck.
Yes. And how are your girlfriends?
Last I checked, pretty good. I haven't talked to them in a while. They've been busy.
I wonder what they've been busy with.
Well,
How about you?
One of them's been busy with community service. I know that.
Putting a lot of emphasis on community there, folks.
Well, she's on probation. Go figure.
Oh dear. Well, thank you for that, Taran. And first time speaking to Owl, because his first name, or you could be a woman for all I know.
No, it's a dude.
Yeah, the first name is too complicated for Americans to pronounce, so we're just going to call you Owl, although you look like a cat. So, yeah, you'll fit right in. How have you been?
Owl?
Well, I like dressing up as a cat. I'm a bit of a furry myself. I think.
Ow, are you there? Why did you hop on thinking to say anything? Ow, you there?
And I really like sucking cock too. Yeah.
You must be having mic troubles.
Well, thank you for that, Owl. We have a lot of gay people as part of the network, Owl. So we appreciate you for being here. We need to hook you up with Dash Attack. He likes giving and taking a good pounding. And this is what happens, folks. This is what happens when you don't speak for yourself. It means I'll speak for you.
Yeah, right. Digny speaks for you. He'll literally speak. Yeah. He's done that to me before.
Yes, and to Pope. And I don't know if I've done it to Taran before, but essentially it's to add a sense of flavor to the fuck up. If you get my drift.
All right, so now we got caught up with the panel. We can catch up with the chat, which so far in chat is just Lilith. What's up, Lilith? Thanks for showing up to the show. Hopefully you're doing well. And now let's get on to the main topic that people are here for. the war with Iran. So, Digny, so what's your opinion? What's your thoughts on the whole war with Iran and how we did it and all that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it's fantastic. We're killing brown people. We're killing children. We're killing innocent people.
We literally bombed a elementary school. Remember,
Yep.
we're supposed to be freeing the Iranians, but we're killing their children.
Have to die in order for the rest of them to have freedom.
Yeah, but this is not all. This is not for freedom.
This
is not for actual.
For
it's all just so Americans can hop on board. It's all a lie. It ain't for regime change. It ain't for all that. Because that's the thing. Trump in 2012 said that he doesn't want war with Iran. That if Obama got elected again, that we will go to war with Iran. But whose term are we going to war with Iran with? Trump's.
Well, at least it's a war, because in a war, folks, the other side is supposed to fight back and kill you. So this is an actual war, unlike, say, the beginning of the Iraq War or the beginning in the War of Afghanistan, when America and its allies, for the most part, just annihilated their opponents through shock and awe. And shock and awe is everyone who is there is going to die. That's what shock and awe means. Civilians, soldiers, military infrastructure, civilian infrastructure. That's what shock and awe warfare means.
Okay, so I have a song for this.
Good.
I'm going to sing the first lyrics. War, what is it good for? Absolutely dick all.
Yeah, it's so ironic that the people who came up with that song are the perpetrators of the most conflicts in modern human history. Sorry to say it, folks, but my perspective, North Korea has never been validated more in recent months, not even years, in months. In a few months, the United States has captured one foreign leader and killed another foreign leader. It is literally the rogue state of the world at the moment. So if America doesn't follow international law, why should any other country?
Exactly. It's like we didn't, and not only that, but why is there a Congress when Congress didn't even approve of the Venezuela war or the Iran war? Well, not Venezuela, but the capturing of Maduro. Congress didn't approve that, and Congress did not approve of the war with Iran at all.
It's so funny to me that America, sorry to pick on Americans, I'm sure the American public are against this conflict, but what surprises me about the United States, I'll separate the two. There's the United States and there's Americans. The United States was born in resistance to the tyranny of a monarchy, only to create its own elected monarchy that can do whatever it wants. Don't we find that a little ironic, guys?
Yep, find it really ironic. We're supposed to be a country of the freedom, but yet they created their own monarchy where they did whatever they want without the people's approval, without Congress's approval. It's basically like a dictatorship, basically. Because it's like, what is Congress and Senate really approved of? They're just basically answering to the president, and the president's doing whatever he wants, and nobody is doing anything about it. Not even the Democrats are. They claim they're going to impeach Trump, but is Trump really going to be impeached because of this? No. He's still going to allow to do whatever he wants for Israel.
Let's look at this, right? Because even without the Israeli influence, which is clearly there, we all know that. Even without that, this has been a problem in modern American history, right? The concept of regime change, the concept of foreign intervention. And, it's only been intensified with the Israeli meddling, but this was a problem even before Israeli meddling. As far back as Korea, Vietnam, you look at Panama, right? You look at the old examples that not many people remember in this day and age. Nearly 70,000 Americans died in a conflict in Vietnam. And what was the result? The result was we've gone from half of Vietnam run by America to none of Vietnam being run by America.
So Americans basically getting pushed out.
Yes. Yes, and what was the result? Who did the American government blame for that? Their own fucking soldiers, which is why Vietnam War veterans for decades were treated like shit when they were conscripted, drafted into service. That's the kind of regime. Okay, different people in charge, but it's still the same regime. Still the same deep, dark state, whether you like it or not. And, you could make the argument, well, the opposition's no better. Well, the opposition isn't better. I thought we were supposed to be better than our opponents. As
Yeah,
I hear someone
I thought we
playing.
were supposed to be better than the opposition. We're supposed to be against the opposition, not turn into them.
Right? And I brought up North Korea. They are a fantastic example of a nation that knows that without nuclear capabilities, they will never be their own sovereign state. It's as simple as that. Yes, they're a dictatorship. Yes, they starve their own people. Yes, they execute you with an anti-aircraft gun if you fall asleep during an 8-hour meeting. But America will never attack North Korea.
Nope.
Let's face it. Let's face facts right here, right now. Let's get Owl's perspective since he's a fresh face. Owl, what do you make of all this? Well, Digny, I disagree with you.
Well, is Owl even there? If he's not there, I'm going to remove him because I don't like when people do that. Owl, are you there?
I think we should attack Iran. I think we should attack North Korea.
Okay, here's my thing. Okay, let's say launch the nukes. Just fucking launch them.
Well, yeah, you're a nihilist who gets rejected by creepy women, though. You're not.
No, she was very pretty, but in any case, at least
I didn't negate that. I said she's creepy, not pretty. But the point still stands, right? No one in their right mind will.
That is true. She wasn't in her right mind because she would rather get impregnated than fucking get into a relationship. But anyways, back on topic.
Full-scale nuclear warfare is not a reasonable thing to happen. No one's going to do it. In fact, the nation that has the most chance of using nuclear weapons for offensive purposes is the United States of America. Why? Because the United States of America has used nuclear weapons in an offensive capacity. Not once, but twice. The same country that pioneered the international rules-based order has broken all the rules in the international rules-based order.
We can still talk on it more, but do you think I want to watch Trump's video where he uploaded a Truth Social talking about the whole war and why we're going there? Just because I feel like it would be a good idea to debunk a lot of the stuff he's saying. Just because I feel like he told a lot of lies in there.
Triton.
Yeah, what's up?
How did Owl get back in? Like, is
I let him back. All right, shut up about Owl. Stay on topic. Stop derailing the topic.
Okay, I was asking if he's okay.
He's fine. Out. He's just not having. He's just not talking. Him. All right, now back on fucking topic.
I just wanted his perspective. That's all.
I wanted his perspective too, but he ain't talking. Like, if you ain't gonna talk, you ain't gonna be allowed in here. Sorry.
Go ahead, Triton.
All right, so Gatling, you can give your perspective. I'm gonna pull up the video.
So my perspective is, ironically, I think either you put up or shut up. The world burns or it doesn't. And we make peace, Honestly, at this point, I'm ready for anything. But if I get drafted, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
You can cut your foot off. It's not going to make any difference.
If I get drafted, I'm not going. I'm going to tell you.
I'm autistic. People can opt out of it, by the way.
Oh, no, Biden actually changed that. You know that, right?
Wait, really?
Yeah, because they tried to get me because in 2020, like when I turned 18, they were like, "Oh yeah, autistic people can join the military now, and we need you for Afghanistan." They tried to get me to go to Afghanistan, but yet again, I didn't pass the IQ test, and I kind of ghosted it. But still, they tried getting me to join the army.
I don't want to interrupt you, Triton, because that is a very personal story, but have we not heard of the term McNamara's morons? When functional retards were drafted into the American military during the Vietnam War, and were always the ones
you bring up a really good point.
And what the units decided to do, because the units didn't want them there, it was a higher up decision. What the units decided was they had McNamara's morons take point, which is take the front point during not an engagement, but when they're going through the jungle, so that McNamara's morons would be the ones who would get injured in Vietnamese traps, Viet Cong traps,
trip landmines and shit. Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. I mean, guys, take a look at a map. Not just a geographical map of Iran, but a topographic. I think that's the term. A topographic.
Topographic. Yeah.
Yeah, that image of Iran. The country's a fucking fortress. It's the vast majority of the country is mountains. Attacking a country like that is insane.
Yeah,
so let's play this. Let's play, let's use the 30-second rule with this clip, and then we'll get perspectives.
Time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating...
You mean the Israeli... Oh, hold on. I'll wait till 30 seconds.
...imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas.
What he really means to say is it's endangering Israel and we need to defend Israel, not Americans. That's what he really meant to say. But he's just using Americans so we can trick Americans and MAGA voters that don't really follow this kind of stuff, and that's why he does that.
Even if the population were in favor of this conflict, it would still be the wrong decision.
It is the wrong decision because it doesn't benefit us at all.
Well,
and not only that, but Iran was not even a threat to us at all. Like, let's be real. I know a lot of people say, Iran's a threat. They've been threatening us for 47. They've never done anything, and I don't think they would have done anything. They wouldn't even be striking U.S. bases if we didn't strike them first.
Well, Iran has had a long history of meddling, in that there was a time from the 20s from the early 20s until the early 50s when Iran was, as Persia, a constitutional monarchy. That is to say, a democracy with a constitutional figurehead, like the UK, right? But when they elected a populist prime minister who wanted to nationalize Persian oil, the Americans and the British got rid of that prime minister and gave the Shah, the king, the figurehead monarch, total power. He turned Iran, Persia, into a Western country, but he was so hated by the population that a coalition of Muslims and communists, because it was a Cold War, folks, okay? Of course communists are going to be involved, banded together to bring down the Shah. They succeeded, and then the Muslims wiped out the communists, and that's how you got the Ayatollahs and the religious order that we have to this day. But Iran was a democracy, and we got rid of it. We in the West, we did that. So there you go. Let's play the next 30 seconds, then we'll get Taran and Booty's, because that's what I'm calling you now, Booty's perspective.
And our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 4.
Yep, a hostage crisis. I don't think was anyone alive in 1979 on this panel?
No, I wasn't. So why is he even, which I know is Stur's perspective term, but why is he even bringing it up? We wasn't even alive. None of the population was really alive during that. Yes, some rumors were, But the only ones
the-
that were alive were literally old ass boomers. That's it. No one on this
Well,
panel
I'll
was
tell you-
alive.
I-
I doubt people in my audience were alive when this happened. So why is this being brought up now? Why is something from 1979 being brought up to excuse an invasion in 2026? If you cared about it, you should have invaded them in 1979. You should have invaded them back then, but we didn't.
Oh, we did. We did. It was called the Iran-Iraq War, in which the United States and the Western world allied with Saddam Hussein, yes, that's Saddam Hussein, in trying to totally destroy the newly fledged Islamic Republic of Iran. And guess what happened? They failed monumentally. And Saddam doesn't like losing, or didn't like to lose, because now he's dead. And so he rebuilt his military to attack Kuwait after he found out that the Kuwaitis were stealing Iraqi oil. So you say, why didn't we declare war on Iran in 79? We did. We did. And one of Iran's...
So if we did, why is he bringing it up now if we already did?
Because the United States also doesn't like to lose, Triton. And when one of Iran's first acts was the hostage crisis, because the mantra of the Islamic Republic of Iran was death to America. Because who created the Shah dictatorship? America did. Who destroyed democracy in Iran or Persia? America did. There's a reason Iran is so anti-American, because let's face it, folks.
We basically destroyed their freedom. We destroyed their chance in having a democracy, even though we're supposed to be pro-democracy.
Yes, and their democracy led to a left-wing prime minister, like an actual left-wing prime minister, like a socialist, like they had in Venezuela. So yes, Iran or Persia would have probably collapsed into ruins by the 60s or 70s, but that was the decision of their population. But we wanted to keep the oil because a lot of people don't understand. Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right, almost the entire Arab world hated us, like all of them. Even Turkey, despite the fact they were NATO allies, didn't like us. They just worked with us because of the Soviets.
Turkey still doesn't like us.
Yeah, well, I can understand why.
And they're considered mongrels by the other Muslims, so I guess it's fair.
Let's put it this way, though. Back then, America's only allies in the Middle East were Israel and Iran or Persia. Yeah, because they changed the name, because even the name was seen as pro-American. Now, it's almost the complete opposite. Now, America's allies is Israel and most of the Arab world, but its main enemy is Iran. So we have to consider that. We have to consider that America's first Middle Eastern ally wasn't Israel, believe it or not. It was Iran back in the 20s. But not a lot of people realize that. Iran has always been a big enemy of the United States because they managed to get rid of a regime that was pro-American. Do you know how fucking terrifying that is? If you're in power in the United States, a regime that has beaten something that made you or made a piece of you in that region? Of course it has to be destroyed. Same with North Korea. The same, although they don't like talking about it, the same with Vietnam. Don't you think America would love to just annihilate Vietnam, killing 70,000 Americans and injuring hundreds of thousands more? Why don't we? Vietnam doesn't have nuclear weapons. It has a all right military, but it doesn't have nuclear weapons. Do you know why? His next door neighbor is China.
I'll say that.
And although China and Vietnam are not best friends, they will work together if America attacked Vietnam again. Hello, Owl. Is your microphone working?
Yes, it's always been working.
There we go.
I just came back from helping someone.
There we go. I apologize for thinking you were gay. There you go.
Anyways, do you have any?
Pretending to be you and saying stuff.
Yeah, he was saying stuff like.
Yeah.
Anyways, What's your perspective on war with Iran?
Other than totalitarian regime getting collapsed, but like it's just another corporate word for like more oil.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not just that, which that's the thing. It's for oil, but it ain't even oil for us. It's more oil for Israel. Because when we went to Venezuela, they said it was oil for America. But who ended up getting that oil?
China.
Israel.
Yeah.
Israel.
Not China. Israel, like you said, Israel.
I'm saying China because like if Israel allies with China, then that oil is going to like that manufacturing country, a manufacturing powerhouse.
I can understand that mindset because if you're Israeli, and yes, if you check out my YouTube page, it does say based in Israel. So you may be wondering why I'm being so anti-American. It's because I don't want my people dying by the thousands, right? If you're Israel and you're thinking, well, America might not be our ally for too much longer, China would seem the obvious candidate because of all the other nations on Earth, China has the most potential to be a superpower. However, the Chinese have made it clear we don't want to be Israel's friend. In fact, we don't like you. We don't like you because you killed the Soviet Union. And I know China and the Soviet Union didn't really like each other towards the end of their relationship, but one wouldn't exist without the other. Let's just put it that way. So the next biggest candidate for Israel is India.
I don't think China's the same China as it was back like 40, 50 years ago. Like ever since China's economic boom, they have like been in many African countries, including Middle Eastern countries. They've been investing in like mostly like what is it? Infrastructure? Yeah, they've been mostly investing in like infrastructure wise. So like eventually they're just gonna like ally up with Israel to the point where it will threaten American like influence over in the Middle East.
Well, the Chinese know you don't work with people who stab you in the back. Why? Century of humiliation. China worked with the British and the Americans and the Germans and the Russians back before it was communist. They got stabbed in the back at every turn. You don't work with people who stab you in the back. They've learned a lot from that period in their history. And in regards to Africa, fair point. They know it's far easier to conquer those lands through the pen rather than the sword. But when it comes to Israel, it's very simple. You serve their purpose, then you die. It's not either or, it's both. It's expected. This is a nation that will unleash nuclear weapons on the entire world, the Samson Project, if they don't get their way. You cannot be friends with a nation like that because even if you acquiesce to every one of their demands, the end result will be you're still going to die. You know what we call that? We call that evil. And I don't know if Triton is still there, but the 30-second clip for the thing, okay?
Yep, of course. Gotcha. Roger that.
444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks.
Why isn't he talking about all the stuff we've done? We've literally killed Iranian scientists. We've bombed them in June. Like he's making it seem like Iran's just attacking us. It's like that's the thing. Yes, they did attack us in those times, but we attacked them too. We're not innocent. We've been attacking them as well. And the only reason, like you said, they hate us is because we changed their entire country. We basically removed the democracy. So of course they hate us. Trump is he's just leaving all important key details out that change the situation. He's only telling the American side. He ain't telling both sides.
When was this released?
This was released right when they struck Iran, like Friday night, 2:30 in the morning.
Okay. That's very interesting because, folks, Look, I've been on plenty of panel shows, not as a cartoon, but as a person with a light blaring into my face. There's a reason this guy's wearing a hat to cover his eyes. He's been having sleepless nights. He's not at his A game. Things are not going the way he wanted them to go. And quite frankly, this is the first war America has engaged in quite a while where the opponent can fight back.
Well, the opponent can actually fight back, and not just fight back, they can fight back with missiles and stuff we have. They're basically on our level.
Well, in terms of the Middle East, yes. That's why the Iranians targeted all of those American bases and Israel at the same time.
Attacks again.
All right, so anyone that wants to give their perspectives before we continue with the 30-second thingy?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah. So, like, the bigger question is, right, with Trump, being like he is, people have mentioned about his hands and shit, and like, and a lot of his, now mannerisms. My question is, now, if he drops dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be the vice president that takes over, correct?
Yes, it'd be J.D. Vance, a bigger shell.
Yeah. So my question is how would that basically allow him to get the office in the next election if it did happen? Like,
I mean, you'd still have to vote for him, but if that would have happened to Trump, it would really depend on how the American people, how the voters think. Because if the voters think that, Vance would be Trump's successor and run everything, then yeah. But if they're upset with like how Trump went out, then it really depends on like how it happens and how the voters feel.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, let's put it this way, my good man. There is a precedent for this. Through most of his administration, JFK was mostly considered a mid-president. Then he got assassinated, and then his successor won a landslide in LBJ, the same LBJ who would never have won a normal election. Let's face it. Let's face it. As Owl turns into a combat robot for a second, okay?
Yes!
I am a homosexual.
You don't do that. Y'all need to mute.
Homosexual.
When you guys have background noise, y'all need to mute.
No. No, I'm having fun. This is my I have fun because everyone's a lunatic show. See, look, folks, on the network, you experiment. So you have serious shows, and you have shows that are insane, like this one.
Sorry, I was playing Hubert.
All right, so we're good to move to the next clip, the next 30 seconds?
Yes.
All right.
Against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts.
See, he likes to call them terrorists, but it's not a good look when we blow up in an elementary school in Iran. It's not a good look.
Yeah. Or go further back. Who killed 1 million people in Iraq in 2003? Yeah. I know.
And guess what too, Digny? Guess what we killed them for? For something that Iraq did not even have. We killed them because we thought they had weapons of mass destruction. Guess what? Turned out George Bush lied to us. And George Bush never got charged for being a war criminal, for lying to the American people, getting U.S. soldiers killed, getting innocent Iraqis killed. George Bush got away with it, and Trump's going to get away with it too.
Yeah.
Trump is doing
because
what George Bush did, lying and getting Americans to want this war so we can go to war and face no repercussions when it blows up in our face.
I'll tell you this, George Bush, the second one, was smart enough to take on a country that couldn't fight back.
Yeah, I mean, at least George Bush took on a country that couldn't fight back, but that's the thing. He still lied to the American people, though, and that's why it's like I have an issue with the Iraq War. It's not because they could fight back; it's because we basically went to war with no reason, over lies, over something we believed, because we trusted our president at the time.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for trusting people.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I get. See, because that's the thing. I voted for Trump in 2024. I did. And I'm not going to lie. I should have not trusted the plan, because trusting the plan just gets stuff like this. And that's what I keep telling a lot of my fellow Trump voters that voted for Trump in 2024 that still believe his bullcrap. We got tricked. Trusting the plan got tricked. Trusting the plan got war with Iran. Trusting the plan got the Epstein files not released and basically redacted, and now we'll never know the truth on that.
Invented.
Trusting the plan got us fucked over as Americans, and I am not trusting the GOP in 2028. I'm not voting for Rubio or Vance in 2028, and I'm going to bully people that do, because you're literally voting for traitors that want us in war for Israel.
I'll tell you this,
Iran's
guys.
Proxy, Hamas.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys. If Camel Toe had been elected, this wouldn't have happened. Because what do Democrats do when it comes to this, right? She would have done exactly what Obama would have done, and there would have been a deal. The Iranians would have been bribed. Eventually, the Iranians would get nuclear weapons, and suddenly Israel's influence over the United States disintegrates. So maybe we should have voted for Camel Toe.
Now, I'm gonna be hold on. I want to be really real with you. Camel Toe would have been no better. She would have been no better. It would have been just as bad. We would have still been in war. Because that's the thing. People don't understand. The Democrat side are owned by Israel too. It's not just the Republicans. The Democrats have to do what they say too. So technically, voting Camel Toe in would have gotten the same results.
We'll use an example of the last Democrat president. Obama was so owned by Israel that he created a nuclear deal that wiped out any chance Israel had of having all-out conflict with Iran.
No, I'm not saying Obama. I mean, no, Obama did it behind the back, but those Democrats are still owned. Like Gavin Newsom literally said he likes Israel, went to Israel, and said he would further Israel's interests. So the Democrat side are corrupted too.
I don't like Obama.
I don't like Obama either. And I'm not saying Obama himself is owned. I'm just saying like some Democrats are compromised. And Newsom is a big example of a Democrat that is compromised, like Trump is.
Well, let's face it, folks. Who pulled the vast majority of troops out of Iraq? Obama. Right? I don't like the fucker. I don't like Obamacare. I don't like the fact that he racially divided the United States to the point where
I don't like that either, but I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing I like Obama for, then I don't like any of the Democrats for. Obama is like one of the only Democrats that actually stood up to Israel and basically did not like do the bidding. But however, he did it in a shitty way, because instead of just outright saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna do it," he tried to make a nuclear deal with Iran behind Israel's back. And once Israel found out, they basically put a stop to it. They basically elected Trump in 2016, got him to basically destroy the deal altogether. And Biden was trying to put that deal back, but the Israelis stopped him by October 7th. As soon as October 7th happened, Biden couldn't not put the deal back either.
It's not that hard to stop someone with dementia, but next... Let's say next minute. Let's do next minute clip.
That launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan.
All right, that's that minute. And that's the thing. Yes, Hamas did do, but that's the thing. It wasn't Iran that did the October 7th attack. It was Hamas.
Yes.
And guess what Israel did to retaliate? They retaliated by killing innocents in Palestine, not just the Hamas terrorists. They went and killed innocent civilians and lured children that were starving out with food and killed them.
Yes. Yes.
So, like,
and
you can't say Israel's innocent. And that's the problem with the Trump administration. They want to say Israel's innocent, Israel's the victim, Israel is not done nothing wrong. It's like, look, Iran's not innocent, Iranian regime's not innocent, but Israel is definitely not innocent. They're definitely not the victims, and we should not be fighting these wars for them because they start most 90% of the wars we fight for them. They started the war with Jordan. They started the war with Iraq. They started all these wars. They started the war with Palestine. They started war with Iran. They were the first ones to strike Iran.
Well, I'll tell you this, guys. I have an interesting theory.
Go ahead.
America is Israel, and Israel is America.
Oh, we knew that. We basically
Straight
knew
up.
that. I've been saying that ever since I knew Trump was compromised. Why do you
Quite
think
frankly.
both Democrats and Republicans are compromised? Because guess what? America's Israel. Israel's America. We're basically one country because they have they compromised their government and they basically turned America into another part of Israel. You can't even talk about the Israel. You can criticize the American government, right? But you can't criticize the Israeli government because if you criticize the Israeli government, you get jail time because they pushed that law in Florida where you can't even be anti-Semitic, quote unquote. They tried to put the mayor of Miami Beach tried to put this woman in jail. But go ahead, didn't he?
I'll tell you this, folks. In regards to the tens of thousands of so-called Iranian civilians being massacred by the authorities, not a lot of people realize that after America's withdrawal from Afghanistan, millions of Afghans fled into Iran, especially in eastern Iran. And the Iranian regime do not give any of those refugees any kind of citizenship or any kind of welfare, which means they have millions of people in their country who are destitute and have nowhere to go. The Israelis, realizing this, essentially bribe that Afghan population with money and resources so they can live in exchange for those people causing chaos in Iran.
And not only that, but guess who the people celebrate? Because I've seen two videos. I've seen one video of one group of Iranians chanting death to America and Israel. And I'm seeing one group of Iranians celebrate. Who's the group celebrating? It's not actual Iranians. It's the Afghan refugees that are saying, thank you, Trump, for saving me. It's not thank you, Trump, saving me. It's thank you, Trump, for helping me corrupt this country. And because that's the thing. All these Afghan refugees came to Iran, burned down cities, burnt down federal buildings, and then they wonder, why are we getting killed? Why are tens of thousands of us getting killed? Maybe because you guys are starting it, you guys are going there to country because you guys won't get citizenship instead of just going back to your own country, going to another country that will accept you. You guys went to Iran's house, burnt it down, and basically disrespecting them in their own country. And then when they retaliate, y'all want to play victim. Iran's killing us. They're killing innocent protesters. They're killing their own citizens. Where?
Well, let's face it, guys. Let's use another example of a pro-American regime that got overthrown and America has hated them for it ever since. Cuba, anyone? Cuba was the tourist attraction for wealthy Americans. It had one of the most friendly, pro-American administrations in all of Latin America until it was overthrown by the communists. Now you wonder why America hates Cuba, because Cuba is a great example of a country that really destroyed an American ally. Likewise with Iran. That's why America will stop at nothing to destroy Iran. They'll stop at nothing to destroy Cuba. They'll stop at nothing to destroy North Korea, because their predecessors were pro-American administrations.
Yep. And now that they're not pro-Americans, they think instead of just letting them exist, they think they just gotta wipe them out.
Yes. Yes, and that's why, folks, during the Cold War, there were two great powers, and they would keep the other in check. We don't have that anymore.
We basically just got one big, huge superpower. And that's the thing. And people want to say America's a superpower. No, America's a part of Israel's superpower. And I know a lot of people call me crazy. Triton, you're just crazy. You watch too many conspiracy theories. You watch too much Fuentes. It's true. Look at what's going on.
Let's face it. If the Chinese were killing millions of Muslims in the Middle East, we'd have a problem with that. But they kill millions of Muslims in their own country, in Xinjiang province. We don't have a problem with that. Why?
In fact, you know what's weird? They kill Muslims in the country, but they ally with Muslim countries. I never understood that.
Well, officially, China only has two allies: North Korea formally and Pakistan informally. My goodness. Who's ordering an airstrike?
It's probably my background.
No, but in all seriousness, the reason why the United States doesn't attack China is because it's a powerful country with nuclear weapons. Likewise to a similar extent with North Korea. It's not a powerful country, but everyone in that country will fight to the death for the regime, and they have nuclear weapons. There's a reason that Trump said Iran must never possess a nuclear weapon, because if Iran had nuclear capabilities, we could not touch them. Neither could Israel. And I want to make that point very clear.
This is off topic, but I just trolled my family member, and he said, I said, are you ordering an airstrike? And he said, are you ordering a prostitute? I'm like, no, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, you live in America. You should order a sex slave, because free market, bruh. Okay? You want to be a fucking capitalist and buy and sell people. I mean, seriously, if you believe in the free market, you should also believe in buying and selling people.
I mean, especially let's be real. This is going to sound hot, but if they consent to it and they want to be sold, there's no problem with it, because that's their life. I mean, you can't. What are you going to do? Tell them, oh yeah, we can't sell you. It's like they want it.
Supply and demand, bruh. Freedom of enterprise, bruh.
Supply and demand, bruh. Watch some MAGA retard watching this, clip this out of context, and be like, they support prostitution. These guys support prostitution.
Well, I don't support the free market. I don't. No,
when you make the market too free, it causes a lot of problems.
Also, you get
exactly
weird ass shit on the market.
All right, so now we're gonna play this clip. We're gonna do minute by minute, just so we can get quicker commentary.
After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be.
If Iran took the deal, right? Why don't we have a deal with Israel to stop their nukes? Because if Iran stopped the nuclear program, Israel could literally just nuke them at any time, and Iran could do nothing about it. And I don't blame the Iranian regime for not trusting Trump's deal, because that's the thing. Why would they take a deal if Israel can have nukes? It's like it's either none of them can have nukes, or they both can have nukes. You can't just pick and choose.
I'll tell you this, Triton. Let me give you guys a great example of this. All right. Although it's not technically in the Middle East, but there was a time when the United States agreed to, with another nation, that we will protect you, we will defend you, we will protect you, we will guarantee your right to exist permanently if you don't have nuclear weapons. Guess which country that was. We'll start off with Triton and work our way down. Guess the country.
I know it's not Israel, but
no, it's not Israel.
No, I know. It's definitely some country in the Middle East.
No, it's not a Middle Eastern country. No.
Is it the Soviets?
No. The Soviets. If the Soviets had still been around, none of this would be happening. But just take a guess. There are lots of countries that America hasn't liked in modern history.
Is it a South American country?
Nope.
African country?
Yes.
It's kind of hard because I don't really know my African countries.
That's all right. You take a wild guess and.
Hold on. Monetaria.
No. Let's try Booty. Let's try Booty. What you got? You had your chance, Triton.
All right. Go ahead, Booty Warrior.
How about you, Booty Warrior? Which was the country that had a deal of protection with the U.S. in exchange for them not having nukes that got wiped out by America?
Djibouti?
You're not. You're. Did I say Taran?
No.
Or did I say Booty?
But I thought that was maybe where you were going with it.
Oh,
well, no. He said an African country. So, Booty Warrior, guess an African country.
South Africa?
No, they lost their nukes through different circumstances because the apartheid regime fell. But they gave all of their nukes to Israel because the Israelis helped South Africa develop nuclear weapons. You know, birds of a feather, apartheid and all that. But no, you're wrong.
Djibouti is
Djibouti, which is an African country, but is an irrelevance. What about you, Owl? Can you name the country? Owl?
Uh-oh.
He's probably helping his mom again.
Good. All these creators with their parents. Just get a pillow and get it over with. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is Libya.
Oh, bro! That was but you said... Yeah, Libya. That's right. I remember that now. Yes.
Why should I do a deal with a country that made a similar guarantee with another country, and then about a decade, maybe two later, allowed my country to be annihilated through various proxies?
Yeah, exactly. So why would the Iranian regime give into that when Libya is a great example of that? Because that's the thing. We told Libya not to make nukes. They didn't make nukes. And then guess what? The government's now gone. So they have no government now.
No, they don't. They still don't have one.
Yeah, they still don't have one. No, I know, because I talked to someone that came from Libya that lives in the United States now, and he says they have no government whatsoever. And they partially blame America because of that.
Yes. I mean, it is America's fault, quite frankly.
And they did say they did say that the regime that America was going after was not the smartest at all and didn't really have common sense. So they kind of blamed the regime. But yeah, America was the one that was starting it, and America was the one that caused their regime to fall. And why would Iran, seeing that and seeing our history with Syria and these other countries, take our deal? They would. Well, if I was the Ayatollah, if I was the leader, here's what I would say. I'm Yeah, no, I know. But if I was the one taking the steal before I died, right, I would say, look, I'm not doing this deal unless Israel doesn't have nukes either. That's what I would say.
Exactly. But we can bring up another example, South Africa, like apartheid South Africa when the whites were in charge, okay? Why didn't the United States, seeing the horrors of apartheid, not just the US, but also the Soviet Union, who hated South Africa even more than the US did, why didn't the US or the USSR band together and invade South Africa together, say in the 70s or the 80s? Why? Why didn't they? Because South Africa had nuclear capabilities. And the South Africans made it perfectly clear, if anyone attacks us and tries to bring down our regime, we will use nuclear weapons on that nation. That's why the effort to destroy apartheid was worldwide sanctions and massive political pressure from almost the entire fucking world. And it eventually fell. And you know why it fell? It fell because the South Africans, seeing the destruction of the communist world, were like, okay, we'll give up apartheid, just don't make us a communist country. And that's how that happened. That's why South Africa is a democracy today. It's a shit one, but it's a democracy. You've got to get your own room, Triton.
Why, can you hear all that?
Yes.
Well, you can hear the all the way over there. How can you hear that?
I can. I have very good hearing. And I think
you hear
everyone else can.
Torin, can you hear it? Can you hear my background? Torin?
I think Torin's asleep.
No, I'm here.
Can you hear my background? Yes or no?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Noise cancellation is a thing on StreamYard. I don't know if it's on the mobile app because I publicly condemn people who use mobile phones on the internet.
I don't know how you can hear that. How does the noise cancellation even work?
It's not that bad, honestly. You want to know the truth.
But you say it's
so then
not
why
that
are you
bad,
bringing the fuck up? So what do I do? Like, I don't know what I do. Like, is it that bad?
I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Is it a problem? Is it a fucking problem, though?
It's not a problem for me, but I can hear it.
Yeah, it's not super loud, but we can definitely hear it.
All right, let's continue. Idiots! I hate all of you!
If they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very...
I'll make this point. Iran is about the size of the Louisiana Purchase, folks.
Yeah, basically.
To give you guys an example that you can think of, it has a population of over 90 million people. The country is built like a fortress in that most of the country is mountains. It took 150,000 U.S. personnel to occupy Iraq at its peak. Iraq is half the size of Iran. Iraq has half the population practically of Iran. Iraq is mostly flat, so it's far easier to transport things. I mean, it's a desert, for goodness sake. And in order to successfully attack, invade, and occupy Iran, you need a bare minimum force of 300,000 people. bare minimum for a country of nearly 100 million people, 90 to 100 million people, you need at least 300,000 heavily armed troops. And that's just for starters. There's a reason there has never been a successful occupation of all of Iran in modern history. The Soviets, during the Second World War, occupied northern Iran. Back then it was Persia, while the British Empire, occupied southern Iran to guarantee oil supplies because the Germans were invading the Caucasus. This was back in 1942, 1943, when the oil fields there were under threat. That's the only instance of Iran being fully occupied, and it wasn't by one nation. It was by two very powerful nations, equivalent superpowers for today. So if the United States is willing to commit that, then by all means, best of luck to you. But it's going to make the Iraq occupation and the occupation in Afghanistan look like jokes, and a lot of people are going to die. You might need more. You might need 500,000 troops, or even more, especially if there's enough resistance with all the factions in Iran, because it's a very diverse country. Got plenty of Kurds, got plenty of Afghans, got plenty of it. This name is very weird. Balchos, I think that's how you pronounce it. Balchistan is essentially southeastern Iran and southwest Pakistan. They've been wanting their own country for centuries, but with those two countries opposing them, it's been rather difficult. And you've got a big Azerbaijani population in northern Iran, and Azerbaijan would love to get some extra territory. Okay, so commit 500,000 troops, Donnie, and America will never leave Iran alive.
Nope. In fact, apparently 500 troops have already been reported dead because of all the airstrikes.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are dying, and it's sad that they are. But
it's glad that a lot of the American troops are dying. They're literally dying for Israel. They're not even dying for America. Let's just make that fact straight. They're not dying for American interests. They're not dying for Americans. They're dying for Israel so Israel can take over the Middle East. And that is a fact. That's why I'm super against this war, because this war is not for us. It's for literally another foreign country. Regime change does nothing. It's never worked. Hasn't worked in Syria. Hasn't worked in Iraq. Hasn't worked in Libya. Hasn't worked in South Africa. Hasn't worked at all. We're literally 0-5. It's not even worked in Venezuela yet. We're literally 0-5 on regime change, and now we're about to be 0-6. Because do you think it's going to work in Iran too? Do you think the Afghanistan refugees are going to run the government well? No, they're not.
No. And we're looking at this, folks, from the best case scenario for the U.S. The best case scenario is a successful attack, a successful invasion, and a successful operation. That is not likely. It's not likely, right? A more likely scenario is the United States attacks, invades, and gets repulsed. And if it does get repulsed, the consequences of that are going to be devastating, because Iran will have successfully proven that in the modern age, America is not invincible. There's a reason America invaded Afghanistan. There's a reason they invaded Iraq. There's a reason there was a special military operation in Venezuela, because the United States only fights enemies that can't fight back. Let's face it, guys, right? Let's ask Taran. We'll ask Taran and then Booty Warrior. Taran, before Iran, when was the last time America faced a nation capable of fighting back and beating it?
That's a good question.
It's
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Can you think of a country?
Vietnam?
Yep, that's one of them. That's one of them. What about you, Booty? Can you think of a country?
Korean?
Yep. Korea, North Korea, technically, if you want to make that point. And that was a long time ago. That was 50 to 70 years ago. That's a while ago. And those situations, America lost close to 70,000 troops in Vietnam, close to 40,000 troops in Korea. We couldn't take losses like that in this day and age. Right? I mean, I think 4,500 American troops died in Iraq, in the Iraq War. Now, for 7 years of conflict, that's not a lot of people, especially when you consider that Russia has lost close to 1 million people in their war against Ukraine.
Well, let's be real though. Iraq didn't have the weapons to make all those damages, and that's why there was a lot of deaths in Iraq, because Iraq didn't have the mass weapons of destruction that George Bush claimed they had. Iraq didn't even use missiles. They didn't even have fucking missiles. That's how weak Iraq was. They didn't even have fucking missiles.
But let's consider this. For the first time in over 50 years, the United States is fighting a war against an enemy that is capable of fighting back against American assets in the Middle East, not against the United States.
So I can go?
Sure.
I'm not trying to rush, but my friend wants me to do something quick.
No, it's all right.
I'm just going to play it and give a final perspective, future plans, and then tomorrow we'll be back on the show for Pokemon.
A simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that
they're selflessly risking their lives for Israel. Unfortunately, guys. Guess what? U.S. troops are dying for a foreign country. Yay!
Let's put it this way, guys, while Trump is speaking.
Threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all.
Go ahead.
I'll just make this brief. America was responsible for the mass killing of Palestinians. America was responsible for the destruction of the USS Liberty. America was responsible for shooting through Hamas human shields, okay? Because America is Israel. Let's not even call it Israel. Let's call it America. Because the strength of America is in America. All Israel is America's Middle East division. Where's America's capital? Tel Aviv. Okay? So don't even call it Israel. The censors.
Well, technically, I mean, they do own us, though.
Yeah, just call them Americans. More Israelis live in America than in Israel.
And we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
Don't leave your
home. We are finished. Take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time.
Okay, we basically get it. We're basically doing it for Israel. We get it. Oh, you better surrender to us or we will kill you. Blah 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 blah.
That is incorrect. It's not surrender or die. It's surrender and die. Do you honestly believe that if Iran lay down its arms and surrendered, there would be immunity? No, 90 million people would be exterminated.
Look what happened to the children in Palestine. They were literally. I saw videos like that have been taken down because government doesn't want it released. Look at the kids in Palestine. They were literally waving white flags, and the bombs just dropped on them, and they got shot. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes, I don't personally, folks. I'll speak for myself here, and others can speak for themselves if they wish. I do not want to be within the mercy of the United States of America, which includes their great capital in Tel Aviv. Let's face it. Because I'll tell you this, the Europeans aren't being gun-ho about
All right,
this.
can I get a final perspective? Because I do got to go. I'm not trying to rush, but I do have to take care.
Keep it all Go ahead, Karen. Go ahead, Karen.
Hey.
What's your final perspective on the war with Iran?
I really don't give a fuck.
You don't have a face ID?
What about you, Booty Warrior?
All I know is if nukes come out, it's been nice knowing y'all.
Nice knowing y'all too, but I doubt America will get nuked.
Oh, my final thoughts are: if America loses this conflict, Israel will launch nuclear weapons at the United States for failing. It'll be a great twist. Israel will give Iran nuclear weapons to annihilate the United States of America. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching this train wreck of an episode. If you haven't already liked the stream,
it's been a good episode. I don't know why you're calling it a train wreck.
It's been a good episode, but a train wreck can be good. This whole situation is a goddamn train wreck.
Yeah, you're all right. It is a train wreck. Because that's the thing. Wars tend to be train wrecks, especially like how they're handling with Iran and all that.
Exactly. So thank you for watching this train wreck of a situation.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys later on. I'll make sure you guys like the stream, and I will see you guys later. Y'all take care and have a good one.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.